Radiation, electromagnetic frequencies, how to protect ourselves. We're going to be looking, as I said earlier, to shield ourselves from the technology. Whilst we need the technology, there's a very delicate balance between, using the technology effectively and overusing it and having it affect our health and cause disease. So I've had many clients where they come in that they've tried everything, they've looked at everything, and they're still ill. And one of the reasons can definitely be radiation. So often people are 24/7 on their phones. They never, ever switch it off. Living near a cell phone tower, that's a big bad one as well. Working in open plan offices, buildings, etc. that, there's, hundreds, thousands of cell phones on at any one time. So it really becomes a hotspot. And the effects on our health are detrimental. And I'm going to be going through that, in particular, looking at our DNA and our genetics. So when we have a look at how we live and so on with all the Wi-Fi and radiation around us, we forget that this is a biological entity. Our body is biological. And we forget that inside our cells, deep down, is our DNA, our RNA and our DNA. And this is the genetic coding of our whole entire body. And the cells, the tissues, the organs, the systems. So the DNA actually is a receiver and a transmitter of frequencies, and it's a dual one. It's got not even dual. You can get many frequencies. It's got a broadband frequency, which means it can receive and transmit many. So you can imagine a normal radio frequency of a couple of megahertz, like let's say 98 megahertz, versus a cell phone tower at 5 gigahertz, which is equivalent to 5 billion megahertz. And our body's DNA and our body's frequency is very, the amplitude is very small, it's very gentle. When you start getting 5Gs and even 6Gs these days, that frequency is very non-life, non-biological, and very damaging. And the DNA can't select or deselect. It receives it all, and it transmits it all. So whilst it's a very sensitive organ within us, receiving even cosmic information and transmitting cosmic information back, it's living in this third dimensional world it's really getting hammered. So what happens is the genetic sequences go out, and you start getting snips and gaps and things, and that then programs the body for dis-ease, which we see. And I actually have had the opportunity to see somebody, as measured on my quantum QUEX NASA device. She had radiation toxicity over 300. So on the quantum device, 100 is where everything needs to be, not above and not below. She was 300. She was actually burning permanently. Her face was red. She had to go and live in the middle of a desert where no radiation could find her. Can you imagine that? It was absolutely terrible. And, it really, really disturbed her mind as well. Obviously, her nerves and everything. So it's something to be very, very careful of. And I always measure it when I do the high-low quantum assessment. Because it's giving me clues. Other people that live very near cell phone towers, the quantum device will tell me geopathic stress as well as radiation. And this particular person, had bad bone degeneration. So I said to her, well, there's a choice here, because either you stay where you are. I mean, she just wasn't getting better. Or you move away from this very intense, very high amplitude frequency. So that's just two examples. I've seen a lot of it, and like as I said, there's no discernment, and it's a broadband, so it's going to receive and transmit a lot. And there are studies that have shown, cellular stress response when exposed to these very, very high frequencies. The strand actually breaks. So not only do just do the genes get damaged, the strand actually breaks. So that's just something to be very, very aware of. And I always say to people, make sure you turn that phone off at night. Airport mode's not really good enough. It's still receiving. I've got a cell phone here in the office. There's no SIM card, but you can run WhatsApp off it. Okay, yes, it's connecting to my Wi-Fi, but it's still receiving. So we have to have the phone off if you really want to protect yourself. And then again, I suppose that's debatable. You can get little envelopes of any of the sites that sell them. That it's like a little glove that you put the phone in, and then there should be no opportunity for any radiation to for the phone to receive or transmit any radiation. Anyway, we've really got to be careful. Also with EMF and radiation, when you sleep at night, if you've got a bedside lamps and a plug on each side of your bed, or even worse, behind your head, there's a frequency range of about 1.5 meters. So imagine you sleeping every night bathed in this electromagnetic frequency from the plugs. So here I suggest to people to go to the board, the electricity board, and put the lamp on next to the bed, and when switch them down one at a time, see which one leads to the lamps. And then that one you can put down while you sleep. That's the only way at this stage. Otherwise, the electrons run up and down the cable all night while you're sleeping, creating this field. And maybe in the older houses, you don't have a lamp on each side of the bed, but in the newer houses, it's just definite. You definitely do. And a double, triple plug even. So you can put your phone in there. You can put your base phone. You can put whatever, your iPad. You can put everything, all charging next to you, all radiating. These are critical. Then we've also got to have a look at our eyes. And I'm getting my blue glasses. So these glasses will reflect the blue rays, because apart from electromagnetic frequency from the computer, I'm also getting an avalanche of blue light, which is distortion. I need to have actually red light. That's infrared, and that's where I post a lot about our infrared saunas, 14 micron. And you'll find that it will balance the excessive amount of blue light that we're getting. And that's all phones, it's all screens. So one must be very aware. These you can pick up at an optician shop, probably a pharmacy, but make sure it is certified. So I use these a lot to ward off the radiation, to protect my eyes. You can put zinc ointment. This one here, we call it Zambak, and this is a white zinc ointment, which will help also protect zinc. It's white, will protect you also from some of the radiations. You could wear scarves, you could wear all sorts of things that will do that too, or a peach moss blanket, something like that will prevent radiation. So those are very important. And then what have I done? I'm going to have a look at the slides now. I'm going to share and start the slides, so just to show you some of the things you can do. As I said, the biggest risk is the damage to your DNA, and then obviously your organs. Those ladies who are pregnant as well should have their tummy underneath, preferably a wooden desk, to shield the baby. Let's start here and see. Okay, so this was actually my poster, and I used it also when we with our sale, because we still have our sale. So the small, medium, and large earthing mats are still on sale, and it's a combo that comes with a wrist pad. And we have radiation EMF pendants. And I'm just going to show you here, because I have the book by Clint Oberholzer, and here he shows a hand before and 30 minutes after the person is standing on the ground. There again. So you can see the big difference between before and the big difference afterwards. Actually, the electrons and the blood flow started flowing through the person's hand. This would be a diabetic typically. And then they had a look also at the knees here. I know it's very small. I'll make it a bit bigger. But after being in the the earth, the width of the knee shrunk and the pain reduced within 30 minutes. And here's some more pictures of people before grounding, heavy inflammation, and 2 hours after grounding. Well, you'll get this effect even 30 minutes later, but even 2 hours, look at that. So, I mean, we don't have to debate this. We know we need to earth. We know we need to get on the ground. But here's something amazing, and I'm going to make this one big as well. This is under the microscope. This is all the rouleau, which is the red blood cells stuck together. They have no charge. So red blood cells should not touch. Electrons should not touch. If they charge, they won't touch. And in a body that hasn't touched the ground for a long time, the red blood cells start clotting. And here, this is 40 minutes of earthing. Every single cell has become charged and separate. And the longer you sit in you're on the earth, the more they're going to separate. That is the charge, and that is representing the cells in your body. Actually, the cells in your body. And by the way, I've got prices here. So there are a lot of was and now prices, and these are not going to last for long. But you can see there's really significant savings. Here's our earthing pendant. I'm going straight into this. I can always bring the slide back, but also there, a nice big saving of over 300 Rand. So I've put it on especially so that we can enjoy these products. And these are lifelong products, which I say continue giving, because they're just going to continue. The resin, brown resin, natural resin, earthing pendant, you can swim in the sea with it. You can get it wet. It can get rained on. It's not an issue. You can get in the shower with it. So that's lifelong, and that's going to continue working for you. I'll explain just now what it does and how it works, and also these mats. It's a forever present. I like those ones. All right, so here's just getting ourselves focused on earthing and grounding and really putting these feet onto the ground. So underneath our feet, we've got gazillions of receptors, and the earth electrons, which have a negative charge, come through into our body and start charging the whole body. And you can see what it does to the blood. It does it to the whole body. You can see the knee shrinks, the pain disappears, inflammation disappears. So why we got such an issue today? Because actually earthing trumps EMF. So our answer is yeah. So all of us take your shoes off and set up an outside office. But seriously, yes, we do need to, because the solution is here. And so many of us since the 1950s have been wearing plastic-soled shoes. So the minute we gave up the leather-soled shoes is when the problems came, because in the leather-soled shoes there's an element of sweating, an element of water, and the electrons from the earth can still reach through to our body. With the plastic sole, that doesn't happen. And the wearing of the plastic sole trainer shoes and the correlation with incidence in diabetes, any inflammatory disease called itis, inflammation, diabetes, all of those, has directly correlated with the increased incidence in wearing plastic soled shoes. So the evidence is there. We stopped receiving electrons. So that means that our battery became discharged. That's not a good thing, because our body is a battery, and a battery can only heal depending on its charge. It needs to be 100%. So let's see the next slide. Okay, sorry. We're talking about the DNA strand. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Here's your double helix, the double-stranded DNA, and these are little proteins at the end here. And I speak so often about that replica RNA DNA product of ours, replica RNA and DNA, because that product, bacterial cell wall fragments, contains all 5 building block proteins for the entire body. So if you want to make sure you have all the proteins, that's the product you take. And then from the DNA, from the genes, right out to the systems and organs of the body, you will have the proteins that you need for all the processes in the body for growth and development. replica RNA DNA. That's a great product. And for healing, it's very, very important, because often there's an adenine or a guanine or a thymine or a cytosine or a uracil missing very often. So that's how we keep the DNA in order with the replica RNA DNA. And then I'm going to talk to you here about our earthing mats. And I did do a little video, which I'm going to also post on the groups. So here's the cylinder that our earthing mat comes in. Inside, it's got the plugs, and it's got the mat and an information sheet. And I can explain exactly how it's all going to be, although my little video does explain it very well. These are the mats, small, medium, and large. So it's rubber on the top, which is lovely. So it's for underneath your computer. It doesn't block your computer's radiations, but it forms a shield around you, warding off untoward radiation. So if you held a voltmeter, the needle would swing to 0. Before you're touching the earthing mat, somebody walks in with their cell phone and the voltmeter swinging like this, because it's picking up all the radiation frequencies around you. So this rubber mat is insulation, and it's got a clip on the end of it, which is onto which we will then clip our splitter plug and our wall plug. So it's only connected to the earth. These two plugs are empty. There's no connection there, you can see. So it can never ever draw current, whether the plug is on or off. And we've got an extension cord as well, which gives you about 4 meters. And then we've also got the wrist strap, and that's got a silver pad inside it, and that works exactly the same as the mat. So it's a 2-in-1 combo, where someone can be using the mat, someone can have the wrist strap on them, or you sitting and your puppies below you, for example, on the mat, or vice versa, or when you're sleeping, one person can use the wrist strap, one person can use the earthing mat. So I made these a very, 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 very long time ago. Why? Because I'm the guinea pig. I'm the one who wanted an earthing mat. I looked at the imported prices and I thought to myself, this can't be. I will make actually a 2-in-1 for less than an imported product. So that's exactly what I did. This is a forever present. It carries on giving electrons as if you're standing on the ground. The voltmeter goes to 0, as I said. You can use it in your car. And that's the blue one with the wrist strap. That's beautiful. You can obviously sit on the mat as well, but then you need cotton clothing so that the frequencies can come through and protect you and put a shield around you, even the car next door to you. There's 2 or 3 people on a cell phone, the frequencies won't get to you. So, and as you drive past the cell phone masts, you've got a shield around you. So that's beautiful. At home, in your car, sleeping, and so on. So I've got some pictures here, and I'm just going to make it bigger. And I wrote that an earthing mat is going to trump electromagnetic frequencies. And there's your blood picture again, opening up the blood. And then here's some more information. Inside the cylinder, you're going to get all of this information about the importance of earthing and grounding. How do I earth and ground myself? Well, it's very simple. You take your shoes and socks off and you get outside. You won't be grounded inside. Why? Because there's damp proofing, and that plastic damp proofing prevents the earth electrons coming through the tiles or the woolen carpet or whatever. So those houses that made their floors out of natural substances, I'm even thinking cow dung, those floors, natural stone without damp proof, are where you will be earthed inside. And what did we do as humans? We then put ourselves onto beds. I think the Egyptians were the ones that initiated beds, sleeping on a bed. So we cut ourselves off from the earth the whole time while we're sleeping. So these earthing mats connect to the earthing of the building, the room, wherever you are. And you touch it and you're earthed, your blood opens, the body gets charged, and your voltage goes to 0. Once we've got a voltage of 0, the toxins leave. None of them can come and join anymore. So it's for a detox as well. So that's very easy to earth. You can use your earthing mat, and we use the pendants as well. And they're small, medium, and large, as I said to you, and with the cables. So I love these. Everywhere mine. I have mine right here under my computer, in my bed, and in my car. Here's some other information. This bottom one in particular is radiation, because it's not so easy to read, but the radiation affects red, yellow, and green. So number one is the eyes. So, I'm going to reach for my glasses because I'm getting irradiated here. So we shouldn't be, but for the purposes of this. So the eyes, then the thyroid, and then the lungs. And then we're coming down here more towards the stomach area, reproductive area, skin, and bone marrow. So here are the effects of the radiation. I can't get it any bigger, sorry. But at 10,000 megahertz frequency, that could even be fatal, it's telling us. So the point of showing you this is that we've got to be very careful. There's another picture of an earthing mat with the plug, the extension cord, and the wrist pad. And we also have an earth leakage circuit breaker tester, because sometimes you might want to go to a hotel, and you're not sure if that room is earthed properly. So you can always test it with a normal electrical plumbing earth leakage test. And then I wanted to bring through this, the earthing pendant that we use. And this is absolutely great because it harmonizes, repairs, and resets the body from harmful radiation, EMF frequencies, 24/7, provided you're wearing it, provided it's near you. It could be in your wallet even, it could be in your pocket. It reduces stress because it's calming on the DNA, balances earth energy, harmonizes the brain with joy. You feel more contented, reverses aging, improves joint pain, increases blood circulation, and water structuring. And we are 80-90% water, so absolute pleasure. So as the very severe frequency comes to us, it moderates it immediately and sends it out. So the DNA is protected. So we're not getting the DNA strand breaking. We're not getting the genetic distortion. So it's harmonizing in real time, ongoing. And that's what this one is doing. So it really is a protection. Now remember, I've tested my earthing mats and this brown resin pendant on the quantum NASA machines before and afterwards. So I've got many case studies on this. They work. And I've tested also the voltmeter. I've used the voltmeter with the earthing mats as well. So it's preventing the negative radiation. I'll just tell you that it's handmade with natural resin, durable, it can get wet. The pattern on here, by the way, comes from the Urals in Russia. So it's a double DNA helix and it's spinning. So it's a double cross. And strengthens the body's biofield, increases physical vitality throughout the day. So there's some other frequencies embedded in there that calm and harmonize. So it's got a lot of wonderful things. You can put a leather thong chain or a chain on it. That doesn't matter. It's not going to affect anything. Your well-being will improve. And actually, athletes have shown better improvement using these, better calmness. So both the earthing mat and this earthing pendant calm us and help with sleep, which is a very important thing as well. So I measure it all with that quantum machine. And then I want to talk about some of the plants that ward off radiation. Important to know, because we can take these every day. Schizandraberry is an adaptogenic herb. It's often used for liver cleansing. It's far more powerful than milk thistle because it cleaves off the toxin and it binds it and takes it out, whereas milk thistle will only cleave off the toxin. So it can rejoin. So it's way more, it's on another level. But just to tell you, so that's where it's primarily used, but it has anti-radiation effects, which is fantastic. Chlorella, the same, that's an algae, will also ward off radiation. And there's studies on all of this. And then we also have an iodine iodide combination. And iodine will also ward off radiation. So those are very good products to take. And then we've also got our really infamous zeolite. That's paramagnetic rock dust. And they even built a wall of zeolite and took the machine in front of the zeolite and behind the zeolite. And when it was on the other side of the zeolite, the person's voltmeter came to naught. So it does work. It does, amongst many, many other things, paramagnetic rock dust. It grabs uric acid. It detoxifies the body. It alkalinizes the body. It connects us with, it's also a receiver and a transmitter in itself. So it's connecting us with cosmic radiation positively as well. And that you would take a teaspoon a day in a glass of water. And that really should just be a human habit to take the zeolite, because it's really going to help you trump radiation. And people that do this, we've seen fantastic effects. It's very, very much part of our detox program. No matter what you're detoxifying from, this one definitely slips in. So now we're going to be having a look at, I just wanted to bring this to your attention, the SCIO, the EPICs that we use. This is the quantum treatment. You can book it with me, and we can treat the radiation with that as well. We can measure it, get a benchmark, and then we can treat it, because the frequencies as a bioresonance your body will call for the frequency and will get it back to realign. So those are on our appointments, which you can do. And then to buy and for more information, you're welcome to go to the website. So what I've intended to do today is just give you an overview of we know that there's damaging effects. What can we do? How can we moderate all of this? Get on the ground, 30 minutes morning and evening. Fantastic. It's going to have even more benefits for you. If you're in the sun, you pull up your sleeves and the sun rays can come in, the visible and invisible, like the infrared, can heal you. Your body will be leaner, the muscles will be stronger. Just like the studies where they put the rats outside and the rats inside in the same cage, but the rats outside touched the ground and ran in the treadmill and all that. They were healthier than the ones inside, and even their mood. So that we must do. All right. And then we need to take breaks from the computer. We can put our earthing mat underneath it, shield ourselves, sleep with that same shield with the earthing mat. In our car, we can shield ourselves. So as much as possible, we can shield ourselves. I think that the earthing pendant is, the brown earthing pendant is an absolute one, because it's lightweight. You don't sweat with it. It's natural resin. And that is definitely 24/7. So you've got both working for you. Fantastic. Take some of the Schizandraberry, the Chlorella, the iodine. They ward off radiation as plants. And then we've got the zeolite paramagnetic rock dust, which also wards off radiation. And then we've got the machine to measure it and realign you as well. So that's in a nutshell radiation. And the earthing mat and the pendant are still on sale. So go there. The web man hasn't stopped the sale yet. We're going to bring in our new January summer sale item soon. So I would get yours if you want it. Get it now, because it's one of those things that you always mean to get. And when you get it, you're happy. When I travel, I take my earthing mat with me. It's as simple as that. And my adapter plug if I need one, and whatever I need if I'm going overseas. And that's it. In my clinic, when the clients come in, apart from the oxygen maximizer IV drip that they get, they also either have the mat underneath them. It's best with the skin to touch it, or they put their hand straight on the mat. And that's for their 2-3 hour oxygen drip. Imagine it's working with the drip to charge the body, charge the capacity of the body to even uptake the oxygen, keep the red blood cells open, maximizing the transfer of oxygen through body. So that's it, guys. I think I've nailed it there, and been absolutely wonderful to have you here, as always. And we will see you next week.